thing, man. I do what I do.
I would say black female, everybody knows that black women run the black community, right? They even call it a matriarchy. Instead of a patriarchy, they say it's a matriarchy. That's why brothers are so easy to get along with. That's why black women end up raising a lot of the children and have so much say so. You see? But now we're looking at a new cultural and political reality that we can't ignore. For decades, black women were empowered by the Democratic parties and the policies, and they've been positioned as the backbone of the community. They led the families. They guided the households. They stand. They've been forced to stand strong in the face of oppression, even. So, now the tide is turning. More and more young black men are rejecting the status quo and gravitating towards conservative ideals and aligning themselves with MAGA. Somebody typed Black MAGA in the chat room, and the Republican Party in ways aligning with the Republican Party that kind of just shake everybody to the foundation. And, this specifically to the long-standing matriarchy. So we're going to chop it up for a minute. You guys hit the number 1 button. I'll be right back. Have pride in yourself. Don't be so hard on yourselves. That's the other thing. Don't let this world keep kicking you and making you feel like you're not good enough. You plenty. I don't care if you're 10 pounds, 50 pounds overweight, 30 pounds underweight. You don't make enough money. You make too much money. You're too tall. You're too short. You're perfect the way you are. And I want you brothers to begin to take that. A lot of you guys did not have father figures to reinforce these things in you. You don't have that manly fatherly love supporting you in the back of your head saying, son, you can go out there. The world is yours. I'm not your father's, but I love you like I'm your own uncle. We all one people. And so I'm telling you, brothers, I love you as a person that most people would say is successful. I'm telling you, the opportunity is out there, and most of you guys are doing much better than I was at your age. You're more confident. You got the world. You got the benefit of people like me who've made mistakes, and I want to see you ball. That's it. All right. Welcome back to the broadcast. So like I was saying before the break, for years, black men have felt sidelined, forgotten, and excluded from the political and social benefits that the Democratic Party extended, mostly and exclusively to black women. Programs like affirmative action, welfare, and other empowerment policies, and in many ways uplifted black women while leaving black men behind. And the result is you have a fractured community. You have a lopsided community where the women are financially empowered and the men are kind of just left out to hang. And, and then you got black women who've been led to believe by media and politics that they don't need a man. And black men felt, we felt that we've been abandoned by both the political and system and even in our own homes to some extent. And so as more black men embrace I guess what you would call the Black MAGA movement, we're witnessing a rejection of the narrative that black men must follow behind the political lead of black women or even the social lead. I mean, if you look at the fact that you have passport bros in place, that lets brothers know. And shout out to Afron Richardson. Thank you so much. We got 4. We need about 16 more. 20 will be plenty. But let me get back to this. So you have black men who are no longer willing to be marginalized. They're stepping out of the shadow of the matriarch and they're reclaiming their independence. Or really they're believing black women when black women say, I don't need a man.
I desperately need you to watch this video. If you're not, you can keep scrolling. But if you are, I need you to watch this video and I need your advice. I am a mother of a 24-year-old handsome black male.
Yes, baby girl.
Who lives down the south. I live up north, but he grew up in a very, you can call it liberal household. My household has always, including my husband, he grew up with a man in the household, a male role model. Both of us are educated.
Not his daddy.
We've always advocated and been activists for the rights of marginalized and oppressed people, to include people of black, brown, Muslim, Asian,
Yes,
people with
Lord.
disabilities, LBGTQIA, etc., etc., etc. We've talked about rights as we have a nonprofit. We do lots of things in the community that supports the politics and the
Yeah, Lord.
policies of Vice President Kamala Harris.
Wow,
I even
wow.
remember the day that Barack Obama won the election in 2008, and my son was 8 years old.
Yes, Lord.
And the very next day, he got up and put on a suit and tie. He wanted to wear that to school because he saw himself in that moment that he could be the president of the United States. However, in the past several months, he has been giving me strong indications, although he has not said it out loud, that he wants to vote for a former president, Donald Trump, in this election.
Woo!
Black male.
Donald Trump took a son from her. Donald Trump has took a son from her, and she can't understand why. Well, brothers, and that to that beautiful young lady, let's be brutally honest. This is your new reality, Black woman. For decades and decades, you traded in your men for crumbs from the Democratic table. You took handouts, the welfare, the affirmative action, the empowerment the Democrats dangled before you, and in return, you proclaimed to the world that you were strong, independent, and didn't need a black man. You shouted it from the rooftops that no man could tell you what to do, that you could do it all by yourself. And sure, for a while, that worked. You had your degree, you had your career, and you had your autonomy. But in the process, you left behind your family, sister. You left behind your culture and your community. You abandoned the very foundation that made you who you are, and now you're left to suffer the consequences of that choice. See, you chose the route of rugged individualism. You rejected the values that once held our people together: faith, family, culture. You went all in. You went all in on the idea that you didn't need a man. And while you were building your empire of independence, you forgot that there's strength in unity, in community, and in holding on to the very men who fought for you. Now that artificial empowerment the Democrats gave you is fading. You're no longer politically important to them. You've served your purpose, and now they're moving on. And you know who they're turning to next? Maria. See, Maria still have her man. Maria still has her culture. Every day, new Marias are coming to this country reinforcing the values that have kept their families and communities intact for generations: faith, family, and loyalty. Sound familiar? See, Maria, she took the same goodies from the Democrats, but unlike you, my lovely brown-skinned African chocolate Nubian sisters, she didn't abandon what was most important. She never lost sight of the big picture. While you traded your community, Black men noticed. And that's why they're leaving in record numbers to go and date and marry Maria. See, y'all thought Becky was the biggest competition. Nah, you're wrong. Kevin Samuel told you that. It's Maria. And so she's the one raising your grandchildren now. And she's infusing in them a conservative set of values from Latin America that puts family and faith first. While you were focused on empty promises from the Democrat Party, these crumbs offered by this feckless government, Maria was building something real. So don't be surprised when your son comes home with Maria. Don't be shocked when your grandchildren are raised in a home that prioritizes family over career. faith over politics, and loyalty over individualism. And don't be surprised if your son begins to vote more conservatively, despite everything you thought you instilled in him, despite all the years of indoctrination and political ideology that no longer serves him. See, this shift is happening right before your eyes, my sister. And these young men are waking up, seeing through the empty promises and failed policies and making their own choices that prioritize family and faith and personal responsibility over these government handouts and political correctness. You may not have prepared for this, but this is the new reality that you must face. This is the reality that you created. You've lost your men because you forgot what truly matters. You turned your back on the very people and values that have held you up. And now you're facing the consequences. Kevin Samuels warned you, but you didn't listen. This is the truth. This is the hard reality. You didn't just lose your men, you lost your culture, you lost your family, and you lost your future. And now it's time to face that truth. The Democrats won't save you. They've moved on. The question is, will you realize what you've lost before it's too late? Because see, black men are already moving on. And many of them have moved on without you. Maria is going to get a few black men. There's no doubt about that. The statistics show that 20% of black men are now marrying outside of the black community, and they're not coming back. Once they're gone, they're gone. But it's still not too late, sisters. It's not too late to reverse this trend. There's still hope. But you got to start by making different choices. Don't vote for any party or policy that incentivizes the division between black men and black women. Choose unity over political handouts. Choose family and community over empty promises. You have to relearn what matters. That is family, culture, and loyalty, because the Democrats won't uplift you anymore. And the artificial empowerment that you relied on is disappearing. They're moving on. And if you don't adjust, you'll just be left behind. Left behind watching Maria reap the reward of holding on to what's most important. This is Uncle D. I love y'all. As I always say, I'm out.
DennisSpurling got the mic on fire.
Black father, I have black son.
Tune in, weekly feeling inspired. From the heart, real talk ignite. Every episode brings a light. Subscribe, hit the like, won't you dare. Share the love, you know it's family. Join us every week, don't be late. Drop some coins in the collection plate. Drop some coins, enjoy the ride. Come say hi, catch the wave, don't pass by. Lifted spirits always in sight. In this podcast, joy takes flight. Subscribe, hit the like, won't you dare. Share the love, you know it's fair. Join us every week, don't be late. Drop some coins in the collection plate. Drop some coins.
Donation. I thought it was a transfer.
Hey man, I'll do what I do. You know that.
Your ass, class, don't come over here. Now, you tall black women up inside. I don't give a fuck about